it is increasingly clear to this reporter that the only rational way out then will be to negotiate.
You know, wasn't that long ago, about 30 years or so, there were only 3 networks, no cable news, and definitely no social media. So if you did or said something cruel or illegal or immoral, it might not make the news. I mean, the news is only 22 minutes long, but that's all changed. So with that in mind, one would think, since we can catch you lying, well, everyone must be telling the truth now, right?
It perhaps was one of the most honest evenings we've seen in a very long time. We've always seen honesty with President Trump. One thing about that guy is that you know who he is.
That is just a small slice of what we're up against. And by we're, I mean every single American who's had it with this bacterial skin tag and his tens of thousands of lies. This is Tammy Bryce, a Fox News contributor, which is not something I'd be proud of.
He is always going to be himself. He never adjusts the nature of what he's going to say or do to trick people or to pander.
First of all, how can a person or a Republican say that we've always seen honesty with President Trump? I mean, how the hell do you keep a straight face with that? Trump lies on average 25 times a day, which is down from when he was president. But I don't know what's worse, the lies or the Republicans who know their lies and pretend anyway.
Mr. President, this is what we got up to today with the New York Post. Prime of his life, this officer taken out with his family. You placed the call earlier this week. Why was it important for you?
And the fact that Trump was at a memorial service for a cop should tell you everything about him, because with him, it's always about him.
I support the police. I would say at the highest level of any president by far, maybe double or triple. And they knew that. That's why when I walked into that funeral parlor, it was like love.
Did you hear that? How sick is that piece of shit? The cop is dead, and it's about him. On January the 6th, Donnie Sniffles sat on his fat ass as thousands of MAGA rednecks beat cops unmercifully and sent 100 plus to the hospital and 1 to the morgue. No one from the Trump administration visited any cop in the hospital, and when Brian Sicknick's body was honored in the Capitol Rotunda, Trump refused to lower the flag. So pro-police? Not so much.
He is always going to be himself. He never adjusts the nature of what he's going to say or do.
I moved on her like a bitch.
Yeah, we know who he is. He's a liar. 30,000 lies in his 4 years in office. But everyone knows this, so I have to ask you, why? Why did you choose to support him? What is wrong with you people?
You're seeing, since Joe Biden took office, crime skyrocket all around the country. And especially in big cities, you see illegal immigrants coming in, beating up our cops.
The lies just keep on coming, this time from this mope, dragging the can again for Trump with the same familiar trope and not one solution. She's like so many other Republican snowflakes who don't have the brains or the heart to stand up to this bloated tick and say what needs saying. The Republican Party is lying about everything. And to that point, every news outlet in America, except for Fox, just shakes their head in disbelief.
You're seeing, since Joe Biden took office, crime skyrocket all around the country. And especially in big cities.
Did you notice that Mace never cites facts or statistics? That's the Trump style of reporting. People are saying. So let's ask, I don't know, the FBI maybe? A New York Times article reveals FBI data that shows the U.S. saw a sharp decline in homicides right after the COVID-19 pandemic. Basically, that's during the Biden administration. They report that 2024 looks to see the largest yearly decline in homicides on record. And one of the biggest reasons for the decline in violent crime is Biden's economy. Bitch! Which, and tell this to your pinhead MAGA friends, is the best in 50 years. Every single sector points to record numbers. GDP, unemployment, job creation, wages, right down the line. And have you ever noticed that the Republican solutions for crimes are more guns, but not higher wages for cops, longer prison sentences and the death penalty, but not for white-collar crimes? None of these which affect the crime statistics that they're making up.
And especially in big cities, you see illegal immigrants coming in, beating up our cops and being taken out without bail, let out of jail without bail, giving the middle finger to America.
First off, Nancy, I'm pretty sure he was giving the finger to you soulless hag. But let's examine this hump's claims that illegals are flooding into America. There must be numbers, right? Well, there are. Republicans claim there were 23 million encounters at our border in 2023, which is a big number. But that's not undocumented people coming across the border. An encounter can simply be when a migrant asks for asylum or simply information on how to cross legally. From Canada and Europeans who overstayed visas, the real number of undocumented crossings was 2.3 million, which is a lot. But the crime rate? It didn't go up. In fact, ICE reports there's a higher percentage of Texans, New Mexicans, and Arizona residents committing crimes than undocumented migrants.
Two of the most common objections to immigration in the United States are that more immigrants lead to more crime and more people on welfare. But a closer look reveals that these objections are misguided. Native-born Americans are actually far more likely to commit crimes than either legal or illegal immigrants. For every 100,000 native-born Americans, 1,500 are incarcerated for breaking the law. Illegal immigrants are incarcerated at half that rate.
So, maybe what we need is the president and Congress to pass a new border bill that would deal with what the Republicans so desperately want. End catch and release, detain migrants while processing them, and shut the border down when the traffic is too high. Oh, wait a second. The Senate already passed that bill. A bipartisan Senate. But you know this story. Trump and Mike Johnson blocked passage of this bill because
They're not sending their best.
Because Trump wanted to run his campaign on it.
The border crisis, which is the top issue across the country. The numbers do not lie. Our country is being invaded right now, right in front of our very eyes because of Joe Biden's catastrophic border policies.
We cannot allow this border crisis to continue. We cannot allow fentanyl to flood across our border, our criminals to waltz in undeterred.
This is very clearly an invasion. It is a purposeful one, and it's inflicting dangerous consequences on our country and the people of Texas.
Here's the conservative senator who authored the bill the GOP House defeated.
Are we as Republicans going to have press conferences and complain the border's bad and then intentionally leave it open? Are we going to just complain about things, or are we going to actually address and to change as many things as we can?
And the fentanyl crisis?
You're seeing fentanyl cases skyrocket. We're literally allowing China to import deadly drugs like fentanyl into this country, and it's killing our children and killing our citizens.
It's not cartels or immigrants.
We cannot allow this border crisis to continue. We cannot allow fentanyl to flood across our border.
It's not Juan, it's John. American citizens make up close to 87% of the fentanyl smuggled into the United States. Listen to me on this. The Republican Party is dead.
We've always seen honesty with President Trump. One thing about that guy is that you know who he is.
The decent people who gave it life and made it something are gone.
Really, we're at a time in American politics that I am not going to lie on behalf of my presidential candidate, on behalf of my party.
There's no lack of information supporting the facts I just gave to you. It's everywhere. But like a cult, the MAGA fold doesn't look for information, but instead affirmation.
But it is increasingly clear to this reporter.
Hitler's head of propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, said tell a lie enough and people will believe it. Maybe, but not me. What about you?
Time to pack it up.
I'm just getting warmed up.
Who's with me?
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Am I wrong?
Damn right.
Yes. Tick-tock.
You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
Follow, like, and please subscribe to Really American, where we keep you up to date on the latest Republican cult lie in this very important year. Hey, and make sure you join us as a member on Patreon, where we can connect directly with you and enable us to expand, make more videos, and hire more hosts. Can't do it without you. For Really American,
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.